The room is already full when Arnold enters. Rows of folding chairs, bright lights, a low ceiling that traps sound. Someone near the front smirks before he's fully inside. Not loud. Scene. The host pauses mid-sentence, lets the silence land, then says, flat and audible, give him room. A few people laugh, not at a joke, at the instruction. Arnold steps forward and stops where the aisle narrows. Feet set shoulder width, weight even, hands open at his sides. He does not look for the sound again. He keeps his eyes level. The stage is only 3 steps high. No curtain, no buffer. The microphone sits tilted on its stand, off-center, unattended. The host doesn't fix it. Papers shuffle. Names are read quickly, then slowed. His last name stretched just enough to bend it. A ripple moves through the chairs. Not cruel, permitted. Arnold remains where he is. Breath in through the nose, out through the mouth, measured, still. The room waits to see if he will adjust himself. The host smiles again. Not wider, sharper. He lets the room finish laughing before he moves. He nods once, as if granting them time. Come up, he says. Not an invitation. A cue. He points at the steps without looking at Arnold. The crowd watches the pointing finger. Arnold climbs. 1 step, then the next. Same pace. No hurry. He stops beside the mic, not behind it. Half a foot off center. Deliberate. The host slides the microphone stand an inch away. Barely. A small theft of position. The stand squeaks. The squeak gets a laugh. Arnold doesn't chase it. He keeps his shoulders square. Hands open. Breath even. He lets the mic remain slightly out of reach. The host turns to the crowd. See? He says. Quiet. He waits a beat too long. The room answers with a delayed laugh. Arnold lowers his gaze to the front row. Not faces. Chairs. Knees. How far forward they lean. The pressure is visible in posture. The host steps closer. Not touching. Close enough to force a smaller frame. He speaks toward Arnold's ear but keeps his voice for the room. A split message. Say it clearly, the host says. He taps the mic head with 1 finger. A soft click. He doesn't move away after the click. Arnold remains still. He inhales slowly, exhales slower. The crowd waits for a flinch that doesn't arrive. The host lifts a paper, holds it like a rulebook. I have a list, he says. He doesn't explain what list. He just lets the word hang. A few people in the middle rows straighten, like they've been addressed. The room aligns behind authority without being asked. The host looks at Arnold's hands, then back to the crowd. Some men think size is enough, he says. He lets the sentence end early. He waits for laughter to complete it. It comes, thin, but present. Arnold's fingers flex once and settle again. No other movement. The host shifts to the stairs, half blocking the descent now. Not fully, just enough to make the exit feel conditional. The crowd notices and stays quiet. He lowers his voice. Do you understand where you are? He holds the silence after it. 1 second too long. The room holds its breath. Arnold keeps his eyes level. He does not answer. The absence becomes a decision. The host recovers first. He smiles toward the crowd, regaining momentum. Good, he says, as if Arnold agreed. A few people laugh, relieved to follow. The host reaches out and adjusts the mic height. Down an inch. A humiliation cue. The stand clicks into place. The click is loud in the silence. Arnold doesn't correct it. He stands the same distance from the mic anyway. He lets his voice have to travel. The host steps back and gestures with an open palm. A stage manager gesture. Go on, he says. Polite tone. Control underneath. Arnold speaks only his name. Clear. Even. No embellishment. No apology. The room hesitates before reacting. A laugh starts in the back. Stops. It doesn't find support. The crowd's uncertainty spreads faster than the joke. The host tries again. Louder, he says. Not shouting. Commanding. He waits, eyes on Arnold's face. Arnold doesn't raise his voice. He repeats nothing. He holds the space instead. Breath steady. Hands still open. The host's smile tightens. He turns to the crowd as if to indict the silence. But the silence stays where it is. And it starts to feel like it belongs to Arnold. The microphone hum rises and falls. Feedback threatening, then fading. The room is a machine that wants a reaction. Arnold waits. He lets the host carry the noise alone. The host offers the microphone, arm extended. Then he pulls it back an inch. A small domination cue. A test. The audience notices the move even if they don't name it. Arnold reaches calmly. The host releases late. The stand wobbles. Arnold steadies it with 2 fingers. No glance down. No irritation shown. He sets it back to center, as if correcting the room's balance. Silence returns. Not respectful. Curious. Waiting for collapse. Arnold speaks his name. Only his name. Clear. Even. No attempt to sand down the accent. No performance for approval. A laugh pops from the back, surprised. Not at a joke. At the refusal to beg. Then the laugh dies when no one joins it. Arnold stops speaking. He does not fill the air. He lets it sit. The host clears his throat louder. He tries to reclaim control with motion. A half step forward. A hand cutting the air. You see, he says to the crowd, confidence doesn't always mean competence. Arnold watches the hand. The distance. The angle. He does not respond. He doesn't step back. The crowd shifts in their chairs. A different discomfort now. The host is working harder. A man in the front row whispers to his neighbor. Both glance at Arnold and then at the host. A small split in attention. The host senses it and speeds up, adding jokes like nails. This time the laughter comes late. Thin. Uneven. The room is no longer one mind. Arnold takes one small breath. Then another. He waits as if waiting is an action. The host realizes too late that the silence has changed teams. He forces a smile and looks for the next line. His eyes flick to the papers. A tell. Arnold notices it. Files it away. Arnold raises the microphone slightly. Not high. Not dramatic. Just enough to speak. I'm here, he says. Nothing more. The sentence lands heavier than the jokes because it doesn't ask permission. A few heads nod without meaning to. Someone straightens. The host's smile tightens. He steps back half a step and catches himself, embarrassed by his own retreat. Arnold does not move. He lets the moment finish itself. He lowers the microphone. Hands it back calmly. No bow. No rush. No line to win the room. The host takes the mic without eye contact. He murmurs something about schedules. About keeping things moving. The authority returns as paperwork. As procedure. As if procedure can erase what just shifted. Arnold turns toward the stairs. The host steps aside without speaking. The exit is clear again. Arnold descends at the same pace he climbed. Measured. Unchanged. The crowd stays quiet. He walks the aisle the same way he entered. Same posture. Same breath. No laughter now. Only eyes that recalibrate. A few people avoid looking at him at all, as if attention is a confession. At the doorway, Arnold pauses for one breath. Not to pose. To listen. He hears the room restart behind him. Soft voices. Careful. The host speaking faster, trying to glue the moment back together. Outside, the air is cooler. Wider. He adjusts his jacket once more. Automatic. His hands tremble lightly. After. Never during. He hides the tremor by checking the strap again that he doesn't replay the jokes. No imagined comeback. No fantasy of applause. Replaying is another kind of submission. He prefers repetition in training, not in fear. A service corridor leads toward the parking area. Concrete walls. Fewer lights. A different kind of narrow. He hears a door click behind him. Not close, but enough to remind him that rooms always close. He stops under a light and checks his knuckles. No cuts. No swelling. This wasn't a fight. It was a test of position. A test of whether he would shrink. He didn't. Years later, people will call it confidence. They will imagine it as a feeling. They will miss the mechanical side. Confidence is what your feet do when the room tells you to retreat. He walks on. Same pace. The night sound widens. Cars. Distant music. The world acting like nothing happened. That indifference is useful. It lets him store the data without spectacle. He reaches his car and sets the bag inside. He aligns it in the seat as if alignment matters. Folded towel edges remain square. Order restored through small actions. Sequence is how he keeps control. He checks his keys without looking. Thumb over metal. Habit. Automatic. The same gesture as the doorway. The same gesture as the strap. A loop closed quietly. Tomorrow, another room will try to move him. A gym. A meeting. A doorway with a latch that clicks too loud. He won't wait for fairness. He will read the space, claim his breath, and hold position. Because power in public isn't always the loudest voice. Sometimes it's the man who refuses to step back that he sits in the driver's seat before starting the engine. One hand on the wheel, the other on the bag strap. He tightens it, then loosens it a millimeter, testing tension like he tests a barbell collar. The tremor in his fingers fades as the ritual completes. A car passes, headlights cutting through the windshield. For a second the light turns his face into a stage again. He blinks once. Slow. He looks away from the glass. Reflection is always a liar in a room that wants to judge you. He drives without music. Engine noise only. Street noise only. He lets the sound stay plain. Plain sound doesn't pull you into memory. He watches red lights change. He watches people cross. normal life moving in lines. At a stoplight, he notices his own breathing, still measured, still controlled. The body wants to celebrate. It wants to release. He denies it. Release too early makes the next room harder. The next morning, he is back in the gym before sunrise. Iron smell, chalk, fans turning warm air in circles. The same hook on the wall. He hangs the bag in the same place. Checks the strap once. Automatic. A few men glance at him and then at each other. They heard something. News travels faster than respect. No one says it out loud. They just watch to see if the story changed him. Arnold warms up with an empty bar. Slow, straight path. Breathing through the nose. He keeps the rhythm identical to yesterday. He treats the body like a machine that only improves with repetition, not with emotion. He loads plates. Not heavy, precise. Collars tightened. Metal clicks. He listens for symmetry. One side, then the other. If a room wants to tilt you, you start by leveling your tools. In the corner, a man pretends not to stare. He fails. His eyes keep returning to Arnold's feet, to whether they move, to whether he shifts when someone passes too close. Arnold lets the man look. Looking doesn't take anything from him. Between sets, Arnold wipes the bar with a towel, not for cleanliness, for sequence. Wipe, breathe, reset. Sequence keeps your mind from improvising fear that he thinks about the stage only once. Not the jokes, not the laughter. The moment the host pulled the microphone back an inch. That small domination cue, that was the real test. He remembers the feeling and files it under timing. When someone tries to shrink you in public, they do it in inches. In pauses. In the way they make you wait. If you rush to fill that space, you give them the steering wheel. Arnold learns to let space sit, to let silence do work. Weeks later, a different event, a different room. This one has a banner, sponsors, a photographer with a flash that pops too bright. Arnold stands in a line of men and listens to names read again. The announcer mispronounces him on purpose. He hears the smile in the voice. The crowd laughs. It's the same mechanism, a different rapper. Arnold does not correct him. He does not step back. He waits for the moment to pass and keeps his posture unchanged. Afterward, a man approaches with a clipboard. Official, polite. He taps the paper with a pen like a gavel. Sign here, he says, not looking up. Authority in ink. Arnold signs without hesitation, then hands the clipboard back with both hands steady. The man looks up finally, sees no apology on Arnold's face. No anger either, only readiness. The man's expression shifts. A small recalculation. Authority works best on people who flinch. That becomes the principle. Not heroism, not bravado, just refusal to donate your nervous system to someone else's game. Your feet stay, your hands stay open, your breath stays owned. Discipline is not a slogan. It is a rehearsed set of moves for invisible pressure. It's knowing what you do when the room laughs. It's keeping the same pace when the room wants you to speed up. It's checking the strap the same way, every time. Years later, the rooms grow bigger. Cameras. Interviews. Crowds that roar for him instead of at him. But the mechanism stays. Public pressure always tries to move you by inches. He still answers with position that he leaves the gym on a quiet morning. Bag on one shoulder. No performance. No wave. He reaches into his pocket and finds his keys. Thumb over metal. Habit. Automatic. The same beginning. The same ending. Because the moment on the stage didn't make him strong, it just proved what routine had already built. In every room, someone will try to take your space before they take anything else. He learned to protect space without noise. He learned that not stepping back is sometimes the only win you need.